One of the most common questions I get from my clients is, what is Gmail's archive? That's a great question, and I'll teach you all about Gmail's archive today on Tuesday Tech Training. Hello, and welcome to today's Tuesday Tech Training. My name is Jennifer Stewart. I'm the owner of Gateway Productivity, and I'm a tech and productivity trainer. Today, I want to teach you all about Gmail Archive. So first, we'll talk about the concept of the archive. Some people have heard about archive in other places like Outlook, and it confuses them there as well. And the idea of an archive, no matter what program it's in, is taking emails out of your inbox so that they're not there cluttering things up, but still having them available. They don't really go to a folder. You don't have to choose a folder or make any decisions about them. It's just the decision to put it in an archive folder in Outlook, but in Gmail, it goes to what I like to call Never Never Land in Gmail. And the archive is something that is searchable. So if you choose to archive an email, you can always find it again by search. And there are other ways to find it, which I'll show you here in a minute. But the main thing is you've taken it out of the inbox, so it's not there cluttering things up, but it's still available to you. It didn't go away, you didn't delete it, it's not in the trash. So that's the idea behind archive. And let's look at it in action in Gmail. First, we'll talk about how to archive an email. So we're in our inbox, and there's a couple different ways we can do this. I can either go into an email and look for this little down arrow icon. When I hover over it, you can see the word archive. So if I want to archive my email, I could do that right here, one at a time. If you needed to do several at a time, I could check a few boxes here and click that same icon. And we'll go ahead and do that. We'll just do that with one email so we have more practice ones available. We'll do that. You'll see it disappears. And it didn't go to any of these label folders on the left because we chose to archive it. Now, the next piece is, okay, so where did it go? And again, as I said at the beginning, it's kind of in a never, never land. There's a few different ways you can find it. So in this case, I remember that it was a Google email. So if I search Google, then it turns up here. And I believe it was this one here. And the other way that you can find it is you can go to all mail. Now that's going to be a little bit harder. If it's something more recent, it'll be easy to find things there, but most likely you'll want to do a search. And that's what's great about the archive. If it's an email that you think you're going to need in the future, but you're not sure, and you know that you would be able to search it in the future, then by all means, go ahead and archive it. It gets it out of your inbox, out of your line of sight. And then if you ever need it, you can do a search. Searching who it's from can be very helpful. Obviously, I have a lot of stuff from Google, but if you have specific people, it's very easy to search by that person. So let's look at the all mail option. Now, for a lot of people, all mail will not show up here. It is a label that truly shows you all mail. So if we go down here, I click on more and scroll down some, you'll see all mail down there. So if it's not here at the top for you, then it'll be here when you click more and then scroll down. You'll see all mail. We'll give it a second, and here you go. So I believe it was one of these Google ones that's in here. So this is showing me everything that I have in my mail. And so we can look at this and see these are things in the inbox based on the labels. You can see this one is in my Google emails label folder. And actually it's this one that got archived because you can see there's no label, which means it's not in the inbox and it's not in any of my label folders. So that means it's in the archive. And you can see this one down here is the same thing. It's been put in the archive. And so you can see those very quickly once you look in here. And you can also then drill down from this all mail section to all these different options. So you can choose who it's from, the time it was sent, attachments, is it unread, all those different pieces. So this really helps you dig through your all mail to find what you need. So that is where you can find your archive if you don't have a good way to search it. If we go back to the inbox, we will do one more practice run here. If we go into it, and we hit the archive, you can see again, it disappears from here. And then if we go to the, I think that was a Zoho, so we could do a search again. And there we go. You see this one is the one that was still in the inbox, and this one no longer has the inbox label because I archived it. And as I said at the beginning, that's truly what it is. When we archive an email, we're removing it from our inbox and it's going to wherever it goes in Gmail. The next thing I want to talk about then related to that is what if you are trying to clean up a bunch of emails in your inbox? I get this question a lot. So let's say I want to take all these gateway productivity emails. So I'm going to search gateway productivity, and it's going to bring up all this stuff. And so let's say I want to take a bunch of these and throw it in my gateway productivity folder. This is a key thing where you're going to need to use archive. And it doesn't seem like you would, but you'll see in a moment what I'm talking about. So let's take about 5 of these. I'm trying to clean up my inbox. Well, how about we'll go all the way down to there. And you can see this one's already in some folders, so I won't mess with that one. But all of these are in the inbox. I want to get them cleared out. Once I started checking the boxes, all of my icons appeared. And then right here, we have our archive. So the first thing I want to do when I'm cleaning this up is I want to give it the label of gateway productivity. So we'll go in here and give it the label. And I'm going to apply it. Now you can see it's in the inbox and it's in gateway productivity. Now you might wonder, okay, well, how do I then remove it from the inbox? You can hit the archive button. And then all of those have now left the inbox and they're only going to show up in our gateway productivity. And then if we go back here, it cleaned up a bunch of what I had at the beginning. So that's a great use of the archive. If you're going to apply a label to something and then remove it from the inbox, it will actually show in here. I've got the whole group of them right in here. And so in that case, rather than it going to that Never Never Land, it still has a folder, a label folder that it's living in, but you also got it out of the inbox at the same time. So truly clicking that archive button is removing it from the inbox. And if you've applied it a label or multiple labels to it, it'll show up in those folders. If you've applied no labels to it, it will show up in all mail. It will come up in searches. It is not gone. Another key thing about this is if you are trying to use the archive to keep your inbox really clean, you can archive an email, but you're expecting a response. Once that response comes through, the email will come back into your inbox because there's now a reply attached to it. Now, this is key if you're using the conversation view in Gmail. That'll be key, and it defaults to that, so you probably are. But that's an important piece here is if you want to get it out of your inbox because you're waiting on someone else, you could certainly archive it and then wait for it to come back. If you are needing to track it, you'll probably need to do something different with it, maybe put a star on it or something like that. That is another cool thing is, let's see, if I put a star on this, I'm just going to give it a regular old star. Looks like all I have are my exclamations right now. I can put that on there and then I could choose to archive it. It disappears from here, but if I go over here, now we can see that Zoho email still shows up in my starred items. So a way that you might use this is you can star things where you're expecting a response and then archive it to get it out of your inbox, but then it'll still show up in your starred items and you know that it's still pending. And you could use a different star color for pending versus another star color for things you need to take action on. So this is a great way to keep your inbox under control, but then also keep track of the things that are important. So that's another great use of the archive. If you discover that you have archived something on accident, you really would like it to show up in your inbox, you can either go to the all mail or you can do a search for that email. In this case, we'll go to all mail. And let's say this Asana one. I did not mean to put that in my archive. I'm going to go here and I'm going to click this little icon right here that says move to inbox. Once I move to inbox, then now you can see that email. Since we're in all mail, it's still showing here, but now it shows with my inbox. And if I go back up here to my inbox, now we can see that it popped in right here. So that's how you can undo an archive if you accidentally click the button when you didn't mean to. To recap some of the reasons that you might use the archive, I know we kind of sprinkled them in throughout, but I'll give you a list here. Reasons that you might want to use the archive button. If you are wanting to clean up things in your email that you might need to reference, but you're not really sure, and you just want to have them available just in case you'd rather not delete them. That's one way you could use the archive. If you are doing a cleanup and you're actually going to file some of these things, add a label or multiple labels to the emails, you can do that, do a search for all those emails, add the label or labels that you want to, and then hit your archive button. That will remove them from the inbox, but they'll still show up in those label folders. It's another way to use it. Another way we talked about is maybe you star things that are pending for you. You're waiting on somebody else potentially. You can star them and then archive them. They will still show up in your starred label folder. And then also, if someone responds to you, that email will come back around as long as you have the conversation view on. It'll come back into your inbox and it'll be like it never disappeared. Just remember that archive truly means removing it from the inbox in this case. And if you have those other things attached, the stars, the important flags, the labels, anything like that, if those are attached to that email, you can find the email in those places, but then it's no longer in your inbox. Or if you don't have anything attached to it, then you can find it in the all mail or by searching. Have you had a light bulb moment from this training? If so, please let me know in the comments below. You can also put questions down there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can also share the video with someone you think could benefit from the information, or you could give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. You can do that by clicking the red button below. Once you do that, you'll see a bell icon. And if you would like to receive notifications when new videos are posted, go ahead and click that bell icon. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.